So I have been long time lurker of this subreddit and now I finally have a story. Obligatory on mobile and possible grammar and errors ahead. Cast. Me, a friendly potato. F. Friend. D. Service doggo that my friend has. M. Karen. GK. Good kid. Backstory. Me and F were working an open house at our college. We were advertising a club we participate in. F has a service dog that is still in training for her severe anxiety. She is normally very friendly when people come over and ask to pet the dog, but eventually it gets annoying after a while. It's important to note in case you don't know, you should never pet, call out to, or get a service dog's attention because it can distract them from doing their job. Therefore, they cannot alert their trainers if the trainer is in distress. Distracting a service dog is like pulling out someone's wheelchair from underneath them. Story. Me, F, and D were at the open house trying to get incoming students' attention and possibly recruit new members for their club. D was laying down under their table keeping a close watch on F. Many people came up to the table asking to pet the dog. F says it's okay at first, but starts to get fed up as many people just came for the dog and weren't interested in the club. Eventually, F puts a sign up telling people to leave the dog alone and ignore her. It's also important to note that due to her anxiety, F has a hard time standing up for herself. Everything was going okay until M and GK came. GK, about 3 to 4 years old, yelled puppy and ran towards DF frozen place while I stood in front of D, somewhat blocking her. I then knelt down and told GK that D was a service dog and that, while it would be hard, he needed to ignore her because she was working right now. GK somewhat understood. He wasn't a bad kid. He was young and probably hadn't seen and didn't know how to act around a service dog. Then came M in tow. Surprisingly, she didn't have the typically Karen attributes. She started asking me what I was doing. "What are you saying to my son?" She asked me. "Miss, I was just explaining to your son that the dog here is a service dog and why he can't pet her." I said happily. "Well, why can't he pet her?" she said, raising her voice. I then repeated my whole lecture about how to act around a service dog. Also to note, this was an open house for college students and I never saw the M's older child. After I'm done explaining, M starts back up again. "Well, that's a dog, and dogs are meant to be pet," she said in that classic Karen tone. "Miss, if you distract the service dog, that's the same thing as asking someone to get out of their wheelchair. But your friend can walk fine." "That's not the point," I said, starting to get annoyed. "It's just a dog. It's not like petting it will hurt anyone. Go on GK, you can pet the dog." To my surprise, GK looked up at his mother and just stared at her. I guess my lecture got to him better than Karen. M started pushing GK towards the dog, to which he just ran away into the crowd of people in the gym, I assumed to find his older sibling, or maybe another family member. M then gave me a death glare, saying something along the lines of, "Now look, you ruined this fair for GK. I hope you're happy, you lowlife. I bet you just love to ruin children's fun, don't you?" At this point I'm fed up and I'm done being nice out of respect. I'm usually very sassy, so I respond to her, "Well, at least it's not my job to suck the life out of everyone. You must be really good at that." I don't know why I said this, but it's what came out of my mouth. M then got very red-faced and stomped away. F thanked me for sticking up for her, and we had a good laugh. The fair ended with us only recruiting a few members and E got lots of treats and hugs when she was off duty. I later found out that I was reported for inappropriate behavior to the student government, who are in charge of all clubs on campus. But because it's college, there isn't anything they can do, so we all just kinda laughed and moved on with life. I'm not sure why M thought this was a fair. Sure, it was an open house, but there was nothing too exciting was going on. At least I have a funny story now. Thanks for reading. This happened about a year ago, so I don't remember the exact wording, so bear with me here. Okay, so, first some context. Context 1. I had just gotten my first big tattoo on the outer of my forearm. It's a bunch of flowers, covering a big collection of self-harm scars from a less than happy past of serious mental health issues, including, related to this story, both generalized and social anxiety. This was also a point when I had only just started my meds, and they weren't working yet. Context 2. I live in Sydney, Australia. Granted I don't live in the city, but I go to uni near the city. Okay, here we go. So I was waiting for a train on the way home to uni, and I didn't have my headphones in because it was still a new route for me, and I also didn't feel comfortable wearing headphones near the city. The train is about 8 minutes away, and a lot of people are complaining, but I'm not bothered. Suddenly a little girl about 5 to 6 taps my arm and I look down to see her wide-eyed expression. From here on little girl equals NK, and mum equals M. NK, wow. I really like the drawing on your arm. Me, thank you. NK, can I touch it? It looks so real. Now if this was an adult it would be a straight up hell no. But because it's a kid, and I work with kids, so I understand their honest curiosity. Me, sure thing. And it is real, haha. At this point, when the kid is poking my arm, the mother turns around and effing wrenches the girl away and causing the girl to start crying. M. What are you doing with my child? Me. Well, she asked about. It's at this moment she spots the tattoo. M. You have a tattoo. You're not allowed to be near kids. Me. I work with kids. M. You're lying. You can't be around children looking like that. You're going to hell for destroying your body. Honestly, I wasn't sure what to say at this point. I was wearing a hippie dress, and I had purple hair. Me. I've worked with kids for 6 years. M. You couldn't possibly work with children. You're going to hell. Me. Actually, I volunteer at a church. M. Wait. So you don't actually work? You lazy teenager. Get a job. I just roll my eyes and see the girl turning bright red in embarrassment. Internally I'm about to have a panic attack, but I'm pretty good at hiding it. After half a minute I managed to pull together a sentence. Me. I'm both a full-time student and I work a part-time job. I'm heading from uni to work right now. What was your point exactly? M looks at me and I can tell she's pulling together an argument and I'm not sure what she's going to say. I look up to check the screens to see when the train is coming, which turns out to be in 2 minutes, meaning it's getting here now. I hear the train coming and clutch my bag, waiting for the train to pull up completely. Suddenly I feel a hand on my back, and before I can turn I hear, M, you're going to hell. And this bitch pushes me towards the train that pulling up. Luckily for me, a bystander who had heard the whole thing grabbed my arm and swung me to the side. This is the point I have an actual panic attack. Full blown to the point I'm on my knees hyperventilating, my vision getting blurry, my hearing disappears, and I can't feel my limbs anymore. So I think I was on the ground at one point. I can't remember much of what happened aside from the guy helping me into the train. My bag has spilled open and showed my laptop and books. He had also overheard me say I was heading to work. He sat next to me on the train the entire way to my station, 30 minutes, and missing his stop, and offering water as well, just to make sure I was okay. I took about 20 minutes to calm down fully, and when I do the guy tells me what happened. Apparently after he pulled me away the woman was still screaming, and the daughter tried to run to me, but she gets pulled back again. Everyone around me heard the M scream at me and saw her push me towards the train. Half of the people crowded around me to see if I was okay, and the other half grabbed M. The attendants on the platform ran to the situation and the police were called. Now I wish I had been able to stay on the platform so I could give a statement as well as press charges, but the guy had no ill intent. He was just trying to get me away from the situation and prevent any further issues. He also told me his girlfriend had anxiety as well, and he recognized what was happening and knew getting me out of the situation would help. To this day I wish I could find her and charge her, and with how I look now, she would be furious and GT. Half sleeve of tattoos, stretched ears, cartilage piercings and a septum piercing. Oh, and don't forget the fact I dress so androgynous people don't know if I'm male or female. She would die. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a comment would mean a lot in YouTube's world. Share with us if you would have done things differently, and don't forget to support the original authors with an upvote. Links are in the description. Peace out, and catch you tomorrow.